Namaskar. Welcome to this presentation on currencies in the Rigveda period. In this exploration, we journey back to one of the oldest known texts of humanity, the Rigveda, to uncover how economic life was conceptualized and practiced in ancient India. Far from being merely a religious scripture, the Rigveda offers deep insights into early Indian society's understanding of wealth, value, and exchange. It reveals a world where the economy was closely intertwined with ethics, rituals, and the natural world. This presentation highlights the forms of currency used during the Rigveda period, not in the sense of modern coins or notes, but through symbolic and functional means such as cattle, grain, and ornaments like nishka. By examining these, we gain a glimpse into how ancient Indians viewed prosperity and structured economic relationships. Let us begin by understanding the foundational modes of economic exchange in the Rigvedic age. In the Rigvedic period, the economy was primarily driven by the barter system, where goods and services were exchanged directly without the use of formal currency. This mode of exchange reflected the self-sustaining nature of ancient communities, where mutual dependence and trust formed the basis of trade. The society described in the Rigveda was largely pastoral and agricultural. People's livelihoods revolved around animal husbandry and farming. These two pillars not only provided sustenance, but also formed the backbone of economic interactions. Cattle, especially cows, held immense value, not only as a source of milk, dung, and labor, but as a symbol of wealth and prosperity. In fact, wealth was often measured in terms of the number of cows one possessed. Terms like gomati, meaning one who owns cattle, appear frequently in the Rigveda, indicating the socio-economic importance of bovine wealth. This early form of economic exchange laid the cultural and ethical foundations of trade and prosperity in ancient Indian civilization. The Rigvedic understanding of wealth was rooted in the broader philosophical framework of artha, one of the four goals of human life in Indian thought. Artha was not seen merely as material gain, it was regarded as essential for supporting both life's practical needs and spiritual aspirations. In the Rigvedic society, economic value was closely linked to tangible assets such as cows, horses, and grain. These were not only practical resources, but also carried symbolic meaning. Cows represented abundance and sustenance, horses symbolized strength and mobility, and grain was the foundation of nourishment and stability. Importantly, wealth was not confined to material possessions. It held ritual and spiritual significance. Offerings of cows and horses in yajnas, or Vedic rituals, were considered acts of piety and devotion. This integration of economy and spirituality highlights how deeply interconnected daily life was with cosmic principles. Thus, in the Rigveda, artha was more than wealth. It was a guiding principle that supported both worldly success and spiritual fulfillment. In the Rigvedic period, cattle, especially cows, served as the primary unit of wealth and exchange. There was no coinage or minted currency. Instead, the value of goods and services was often calculated in terms of cows. This central role of cattle is reflected in the very language of the Rigveda. Words such as gavishti, meaning the search for cows, and gaveshan, with a similar connotation, emphasize just how central cows were to social, economic, and even spiritual life. Beyond their use in trade and barter, cows also played a sacred role in rituals. They were offered as dakshina, or gifts, to priests and sages as part of Vedic ceremonies. This act was not merely transactional, but symbolic, representing respect, devotion, and the fulfillment of dharma. Thus, cows were far more than livestock. They were living currency, symbols of prosperity, and vehicles of spiritual merit in the Rigvedic worldview. While cattle remained the dominant symbol of wealth during the Rigveda period, other valuable commodities also held significance in economic and ritual life. Horses and gold, referred to as hiranya, are mentioned in the Rigveda as alternative forms of wealth, often associated with power, status, and divine offerings. The presence of terms like swapatayam, which denotes inherited or self-earned wealth, shows an emerging awareness of wealth ownership and individual prosperity within Vedic society. This reflects the broader evolution of economic ideas beyond collective or clan-based property. Barter extended beyond cattle to include grains, tools, cloth, and other livestock, indicating a vibrant exchange system that supported both pastoral and agrarian needs. These items were not only practical, but also carried symbolic value in daily life and sacred rites. In essence, wealth in the Rigvedic age was multidimensional, spanning material needs, spiritual values, and social identity. As we move deeper into Rigvedic economic practices, we find intriguing references to nishka, a gold ornament or token that may represent one of the earliest notions of currency in ancient India. Though not a coin in the modern sense, the nishka held exchange value and was often used in barter, gifts, and religious offerings. Its worth was recognized socially and spiritually, making it a symbol of both wealth and sanctity. Nishkas were frequently given as dakshina during rituals or presented to poets and priests as honorific gifts, indicating their role in sustaining cultural and spiritual exchanges. This early use of metal objects with perceived or agreed upon value hints at the gradual transition from barter-based economies to more abstract forms of trade, paving the way for formal coinage in later periods. Thus, the nishka serves as a proto-currency, a bridge between tangible wealth and conceptualized monetary systems. In conclusion, the concept of currency in the Rigveda was not limited to economic transactions alone. It was symbolic, functional, and deeply spiritual. The Rigvedic approach to wealth, through cattle, gold, and barter, not only supported day-to-day life, but also reinforced social ethics and ritual practices. It created a value system where economy, spirituality, and societal order were intricately connected. This early integration of material and moral dimensions laid the foundation for India's later economic thought, where trade, wealth, and dharma were harmoniously interwoven. The Rigveda, therefore, offers not just a glimpse into ancient exchange systems, but also a profound legacy of holistic living, where economics served both practical needs and higher human aspirations. Namaskar.